Don't forget PayPal, and if you can, tell your friends to subscribe. Well, years ago, when the Prime Minister started to pay the Toronto Star and other publications to keep on going when they're losing money, some really creative people said, well, those old school publications aren't doing it anymore. One of them is Canadaland. And Jesse Brown is the publisher of Canadaland. He joins me right now because I want you to tell me, what really is Canadaland? How did you create it? And what does it do?
It started off as my podcast about the Canadian media. I was watching things like Jon Stewart making fun of cable news.
Yeah.
I was listening to On the Media. I was reading the late, great David Carr doing media criticism in the New York Times. And I said, you know, no one in Canada is doing journalism about journalism. And you know, I had worked for the CBC. I pitched it there. They said no. I had written for the National Post. They said no. I tried shopping this around to every editor I ever worked for. They all said no. So I said, to hell with it. I'll do it myself. From there, it became more than just a chat show about the media. People started bringing stories, and we started to reveal things like Peter Mansbridge taking money from the oil industry while covering the oil industry, and the Jean Ghomeshi story.
That made you very popular at the CBC, I'm sure.
Well, I got my start there, but no, I was not welcome there for a while. So yeah, that's part of Canada.
So you were doing stories that the old school media, as I call, would not do. They could have, but they didn't.
That's correct. There was I kept hearing nobody wants to hear how the sausage gets made. Turns out people were really interested in where the sausage comes from.
So you've been in that business now for 10 years. Yeah. Congratulations. And where are you going with this? Are you going to replace, we don't want to replace the Toronto Star because you don't want to be in any Liberal Party camp, but are you going to replace old school media or make it better?
You know, we went from pointing out the deficiencies of old school media to filling in the gaps with everything from Indigenous coverage to publishing in both languages, talking about everything that we felt that they weren't covering.
Right.
Now, is Canadaland going to be the next Globe and Mail Toronto Star? I don't think that that's really the ambition. I think that what we need to have going forward are a lot of smaller news organizations.
Do you think that there is a thirst in Canada for something aside from, I know you're successful, but overall, aside from the traditional ways of getting news? People are saying, well, you know what? We don't like some rags, or we don't like the standard national TV news. Is there a greater thirst for some real gutsy news?
I mean, absolutely. People still wake up every day wanting to know what the hell is going on today. The problem is, as legacy media fails, the stuff that is filling the void tends to be lacking in verification, lacking in just like basic journalistic standards. Sometimes they're taking their stuff from the news and just reshuffling it, repurposing it. Sometimes it's just a fantasy. So we're in this very strange space right now where there's an opportunity, I think, for like verified information to fill that
Jesse, so your publication, you know, online is not just opinion, it's hard fact as well. And you identify the two, I guess.
Yeah, we do analysis, but we really pride ourselves on the original reporting on our podcasts.
Jesse, thank you very much. Canadaland, aside from this one. Liberties and freedom of speech are under attack in Canada like never before. So let's keep this discussion on the air. PayPal, write a check, and please include your address so I can write a thank you letter to you. And ask your friends, please subscribe. It's important to keep this on the air. And thank you.